Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak. I won't talk long. I'll try to be in and out 30 minutes. But I will tell you, this is probably one of the more important messages, conversations, talks, sermons, whatever you want to call it, that you'll probably listen to. And I believe that it's more important now than ever for real estate agents to invest in their financial literacy. You know, we get so caught up in production and more sales and more deals and more listings. And it's just a catch-22. And it's the reason why EXP is growing at 82%, 87% year over year, because they're creating the different income streams for us. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of those things today, and then we'll do Q&A at the end if everybody's good with that. So why agents need to invest in financial literacy. I have a passion to see real estate agents win, just like I had a passion for underprivileged kids. I was an underprivileged kid, so I have a heart for that. I have a heart for single moms because I grew up with a single mom. I also have a heart for athletes making a transition, so I try to do stuff for them. And now my new passion is for real estate entrepreneurs, because we do not get the credit we deserve. We outwork our pay, but people think we're overpaid. They don't see the 190 tasks, give or take, that we do, and they don't see all the stuff that we're working on. And it's really important. So let's talk multiple income streams. Multiple income streams used to be a fad, but now it's a necessity. And according to the IRS, most millionaires have 7 income streams of these. So these are the 7 basic income streams that you see millionaires, according to the IRS. So dividend income from stocks owned, earned income from paychecks, rents from real estate, and that can be commercial, multifamily, industrial, self-storage, whatever. Royalties from selling the rights to things that you either written, invented, or created. And then capital gains from selling appreciated assets, and then profits from businesses they own. And then obviously interest from savings, CDs, bonds, and other lending activities. Now, can somebody tell me which one of these 7 is taxed at the highest rate?
Earned income?
Is it stocks?
Yeah, number 2, earned income.
Paychecks, yeah.
Yep.
Earned income, yep. So what we got to realize is our ultimate goal is to take our earned income from real estate sales and put it into real estate, multifamily, self-storage, industrial, Airbnb, whatever. Create things, right, and create royalties. Buy businesses that we can own and then write off stuff. And that's the ultimate thing. And the reason why I'm telling real estate agents, we have to invest in our financial literacy, but we as real estate agents have to transition into real estate entrepreneurs. So I've been saying that now for about 3, 4, 5 years. Now you're starting to see real estate entrepreneur all over the place. But back when I started saying it, nobody was piecing them together 5, 6, 7 years ago. But that's important, especially in a shifting market. There's going to be opportunities, but we need to be thinking about this stuff. So I'm going to give you guys some homework because we're talking about your financial literacy. So here's topics that I want you to DYOR. Do your own research to strengthen your knowledge in the financial literacy space. So here's 5 topics that I just want you to chew on. No brokers talking about this. Not a lot of team leaders are talking about it, but I'm an outside the box thinker, and I want you guys to be real estate entrepreneurs. We're already that, right? Think about it. You have to hire people. You have to train them. You have to manage P&L statements. You have to do marketing. You have to understand taxes. You're already a real estate entrepreneur. You're not a realtor. You're not a broker. So go ahead and start moving in your mental space, because that's what you are. You're a sole proprietor or a small business owner, and you're an entrepreneur. So 5 topics we're going to be talking about and thinking about is OPM. Anybody tell me what OPM is?
Other people's money.
Thank you, brother. So OPM is other people's money. Number 2 is leverage. 3 is velocity of money. You don't hear a lot about that. That kind of goes under the radar. Number 4, personal financial statement / we know assets minus liabilities equals net worth. And then multiple income streams. MIS is what I call it. So we're going to be talking about those things. I'm going to talk fast because I know y'all's time is valuable. So OPM, here is how you substantially increase your returns to secure even more assets, other people's money, right? And we got to remember OPM is other people's money, but it also means bank's money, right? So think about if you go and you have $100,000 and you want to buy your first investment property, and let's say each one of these investments properties are leasing for $1,000 a month, and they want 100 grand. You can go pay $100,000 and you bring in $1,000 a month debt free, right? And so you own it outright. That's good for you. But you could take that same 100 grand and buy 10 of those houses on a 90-10 LTV, just for this example. Most of the time you have to put down 15, 20%, but let's just for this example. And now you own 10 properties at 100 grand. So now you have $1 million portfolio bringing in $1,000 a piece, which is 10 grand a month on that same $100,000. So that's just a very simplistic way of talking about OPM, other people's money. And then if you want, I never really jumped into raising capital. So for my first 17 years of investing and doing neighborhoods and developing, buying multifamily, doing student housing, I didn't raise any capital. I bootstrapped everything. But looking back, there should have been windows where I probably could have brought in some partners. But for me, just coming from the NFL, I was so burned with people reaching out, asking you to invest. I just didn't want to be that guy. So I just me and my wife did it all on our own. And now we own multifamily apartments around the nation. We own Starbucks, AT&T's, Buffalo Wild Wings, student housing, whatever. But it started off with us purchasing our first two investments was two $75,000 duplexes. So you got to start somewhere, and you got to invest in your financial literacy. Next thing is leverage. Financial leverage is the use of debt to buy more assets. Obviously, leverage can be employed to increase the return on your equity. So this is a basic, simplistic visual of what a capital stack looks like. So when you guys start raising money on $50 million apartment complexes one day, and you guys become billionaires, don't forget about me. But just remember, this is a simplistic way as a capital stack. So you have your debt, your equity, and your asset, and there's leverage there. And the leverage means, so I'll give you another example. If you want to go buy a triple net property in the commercial space, an absolute triple net, Chick-fil-A building or AT&T, Starbucks, when you see that it's selling for a 5 cap, you see a 5 cap rate, so a cap rate, and you see a 5 behind the percentage, that means it's selling at a 5 cap. That means if you pay cash for that asset, which is probably going to be $2.5 million, whatever, you're going to make 5% on your money. Okay. I can buy that same exact building and put down 30% or 25% and leverage the other 70 to 75%. And I'm going to make a higher return than 5% because I use financial leverage. Now, remember, there's always got to be a balance. That's the key. You don't want to get over leveraged, but in order to get a higher rate of return on your capital, you need to use leverage, because we got to remember when America took our fiat currency, is what I call it now, our cash, the American dollar, off the gold standard. What is the American dollar backed by now? Anybody know?
Confidence.
Debt. It's backed by debt. So think about it. If our dollar is not on the gold standard anymore, it's on debt, which is cash, which is why they keep printing so much more of it. I always tell, there's two things you'll hear me say if you hear me speak on the stage. You can never sell your way into financial freedom. I don't care if you've done $1 billion in sales. I've done that in 8.5 years. It doesn't matter. You can't sell your way into financial freedom. You have to start understanding financial literacy. And then here's the other word. You can't save your way into financial freedom. Inflation was at what, 9% last year, somewhere give or take, 9 or 10%. So if you worked your ass off selling real estate last year and you put everything in the bank because you thought you were going to save your way into financial freedom, and you didn't make at least 9% on that money you put in the bank, then guess what happened to it last year? It got eaten up by inflation. So velocity of money. I'm gonna start speeding up my conversation. This is very, very important. Velocity of money is the frequency in which one unit of currency is used to purchase domestically produced goods and services within a given time period. In other words, it is the number of times $1 is spent to buy goods and services per unit of time. So you guys have heard of the Burr method. You've heard of these different things. That's an example of velocity of money, where you put the money in the asset, you fix it up, you get it stabilized, you refinance it, you pull that same capital out, you move it to another asset. Once again, I'm telling you guys, DYOR, I'm just giving you some tools and some strategies to build your financial literacy and not sit here. I'm the one telling you the truth. You can't save your way into financial freedom, and you can't sell your way into financial freedom. So if you are a real estate agent and all you're doing is selling and saving, in 15 years or 20 years or 5 years, don't say I didn't tell you so. So velocity of money just means you got to learn different asset classes or the same asset class. But if I can put my money in, pull it out, like I bought a Starbucks Buffalo Wild Wings 4 years ago, it appreciated by $1.5 million on its own, because Starbucks had a 10-year initial lease that every year the lease went up, and they had 4 or 5 year renewals. And I have a corporate backed lease by Starbucks and Buffalo Wild Wings. So I know they're going to pay their rent. And then I was able to go back, and I do a similar strategy of the Burr, but I hold stuff for at least 3 to 5 years before I even consider refinancing it. But then I pulled out cash and I took that money, right? Because if you look at an asset, let's go back to the $100,000 asset that we talked about earlier. Let's say you put down 20%. So you put down 20 grand, you owe 80,000. Your tenant pays down your note to 50,000 over 5 to 7 years, let's give or take. So now your payoff is 50. You paid 100, but let's say it appreciated to 125. For everybody in this room, let's say it appreciated to 150 based on your rental rates, based on upkeep, based on you going in and fixing it up, whatever. But now it's worth 150. They pay down your note to 50K. You put in 20, but you got $100,000 of equity. You put in 20,000. Well, you may say, I'm gonna refinance that property and pull out my 50. So I'm gonna get back my 20,000 plus another 30. Now what's my return on that asset? Infinity, because I have no capital in the property. So that's just another example of velocity of money. We'll keep going. Currency in circulation, purchasing power is going down. The American dollar is backed by debt, and they're printing more money every day. Every time we turn around, they're sending billions over here and billions over here and hundreds of millions over here. So they're flooding the market with capital, obviously with COVID, stimulus packages and everything else. And then we wonder why inflation's at 9, 10%. So that's what's happening. And this is why you can't save. You have to put your money to work. Now, am I saying be out of balance? No, have a savings account. Keep a certain amount of money for your savings and your family and, 6 to 12 months of living expenses. But the rest, you got to put to work. All right. So why you should be tracking and updating your personal financial statement. How many people in the room, and this is just, obviously we can't really interact, have a financial statement built out? So be thinking about that. If you don't have a personal financial statement, this is your homework. You can Google personal financial statement templates, and you need to get that.
And guys, if you don't have one and you want one, let me know, right? Like I built one, and again, do your own research. You don't have to use mine or anything like that, but we want to make it available to you, right? Because this is the next step. Instead of making everybody else wealthy by helping them purchase and buy real estate, like this is where we need to start doing that on our own and creating that financial freedom.
That's the key, Larry. And here's the thing I've learned, whether we're playing Monopoly, Uno, bowling, bingo, whatever the hell games we played, right? If I don't know the rules to the game and I have no way of keeping a track record if I'm winning or not, then how will I ever win? So you guys got to be thinking like, if you don't know the rules and you don't know how it's being tracked, well, then shit, how am I going to win the game? And I'm telling you the rules and I'm giving you a tool to track it. This is why you never hear from Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Warren Buffett. You never hear about their credit. You don't even hear about how much money they make half of the time. But what do you always hear about? What they are worth. There's a reason why people are tracking their net worth, because that is the game. And when I first read that, I was like, okay, so no one ever told me that. So I've been tracking my net worth since I was 25 years old. And then you start being able to see, okay, I sold this much real estate this year. I invested in this real estate. I did this move. I made this move. My net worth went up by this amount. Okay, keep doing more of that. But if you're just selling, and you get to the end of the year and your net worth didn't go up, then you're doing something wrong. So these statements, financial statements, outline an individual's assets and liabilities and reveal their net worth. It also makes it easier to track your assets and your worth over time. Because remember, as you start investing in these deals and as you start growing your balance sheet, which is also another word for your financial statement, people get too caught up in credit. They're not going to track your credit. When you're going to get in a multi-million-dollar loan, they're going to ask for 2 years tax returns. They're going to ask for your financial statement, your cash flow statement. And then they're going to say, all right, send me your underwriting for this project. And then send me your projected cost and send me your projected rental income. I hope y'all heard me go through that checklist. They never asked me for my credit. Now, they're going to go underwrite the deal first. Whether it's a business you're purchasing or real estate, they're going to underwrite that deal first. Does the deal make sense? And then if the deal makes sense, then I'm going to look at your financial statement because I need to know what kind of assets you have. Then I'm going to look at your cash flow statement. Then I'm going to look at your 2-year tax returns. Then I'll get you final approval. Then I'll pull your credit. That's the game. All right. So this is just a simple example. Obviously, you guys know this is simplistic, but obviously assets, liabilities equal net worth. So you put in your savings, your checking, your IRA, your house. Some people say a house isn't an asset. Some people argue that it is. Some people argue that it can't be an asset unless it pays you. It's a liability if it doesn't pay you. That's for you to interpret. And then obviously, if you have a car, even though it's a depreciating asset, it has value because if you can go sell it, it's worth something. And then rental properties, student loans, land, small business, blah, blah, blah. So you guys put all your assets on there and all your liabilities, and then you'll create a cash flow statement on that next tab. And then you can track. You say, man, I'm worth $261,000 right now, but how do I get to where I am worth $1 million? And remember, $1 million, when you hear people like, oh, that person's a millionaire, it can be in multiple ways, but one is through net worth. So just list all those things, and then you'll create that sum. And here's why net worth matters. Net worth is the single, I didn't say third, fourth, or fifth, single most important financial metric that one can track. It's great to talk about how many awards we've gotten and how many designations we have. I have the $1 Million Guild. I've sold 65 $1 million properties. That's great. But what is it worth? So this is the single most important financial metric you can track. It's more important than a person's salary or monthly budget. Why? It represents the sum total of your entire financial life reduced to a few numbers. And I always pause because I like to let different things simmer. It shows you all of your assets that you've accumulated over time. And it shows you all your current debts. And the difference between the two is your net worth. Last couple slides, then we'll jump into Q&A. Realtors need to evolve to real estate entrepreneurs. So here's 7 income streams that when people join my organization at EXP, I show them how to create these immediately. Obviously, I show them how to scale. I have a course that I just dropped that is doing really, really well. It's called the $1 Billion Real Estate Agent. It's 5 levels, and I take you from a new producer or producer who's ready to scale to how to grow a multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar organization. So it's the $1 billion real estate agent course. It's courses, it's assets you can print out. There's worksheets. Right now, we got about 60 different assets because I like to touch people's senses. You can see me on the video. You can hear me speak. You can rewind, pause, and stop. You get a lifetime membership to that Kajabi account. And then you get to print it out, write on it, scratch on it. And then I do AMAs every week for everybody that's in my courses. So I do, like right now, what we're doing, I do this every week, but I do AMAs where it's Ask Me Anything. So I showed them how to scale on number one. I have brand new agents selling $18 million in sales, brand new, like first year in, because they're just following my coaching courses and following my models. Then obviously residual income. There's the 3 pillars on how you can get stock at EXP. You guys know about these. Not going to do them, not going to break them down. But if you guys aren't doing the agent equity program, you need to. That's 5% of every one of your transactions gets the stock at a 10% discount. And some of you guys came from franchises anyway. So you were already paying franchise fees. You might as well do it. Number 3 is growing a team. That's one of the ways to get you off the hamster wheel. And people get overwhelmed when they think about growing a team. But the key thing I say is tactical team. The mega agent team and all that, if you don't want that, that's fine. But I can show you how to set up a 5 to 7 man team. I have a 5 to 7 man team, a 10-man team. And there's a way to do it. Then obviously rev share, you guys know about that. Don't be overwhelmed. Remember, when you have a gift that can help people, just like right now, I'm on this call. I'm doing this out of my love for Larry and my brotherhood with him. But I know I have a message that can help you guys. Why would I not give it? So that's what you have at EXP. So you need to tell people about it. So whether you introduce, attract, or recruit, let your vibe attract your tribe. And then I've set up a fund for my agents to invest in real estate alongside me. So it's T5 Equity Partners. We actually just closed a $45 million apartment complex, 240 units in Dallas 2 weeks ago. So I had agents in my organization come alongside me. So after 17 years of not raising capital and just staying away from it, I started raising capital Q1 of this year. We closed a $40 million deal in Orlando, Florida. It's 175 units. And we closed a $45 million deal in Dallas or Arlington, 240 units. And now my agents can invest alongside me. Then obviously become a certified mentor, dividends from stock. That's 7 income streams immediately to help diversify you guys.
Beautiful. And I was actually going to reach out to you on the syndication side of things. This is also something that I'll be bringing back to you guys. My old business partner that I also coached at Tom Ferry now owns over 900 doors. He's 32 years old, right? Owns over 900 doors. And we had owned 24 homes together in Cleveland in order to prove out this syndication model. Now he's taken it and ran with it. Tom Ferry is one of his business partners and dropped $1 million in this first syndication. And now, like we're involved, now we own over 600 doors together. And so I wanted to bring this to you, Terrence, and your entire group, right? Because again, EXP is just one aspect of it, but we should be helping people create multiple streams of income. So I'm glad that you touched on that. I'll be touching base with you on that as soon as we get all the details and stuff on the next projects, Terrence, and I'll be bringing it to all of you guys as well. So thank you so much for this, man. And guys, like while we have Terrence, I mean, he took time away from his lake house and stuff there. Like hammer him away, like abuse him right now, and ask him anything that you guys need.
AMA, ask me anything.
Hey, Terrence, I'm on Clubhouse and I can't. What subheading are you in Clubhouse?
Yes, sir. Just Terrence Murphy.
And Terrence, while people are thinking of questions, man, I just want to say thank you tremendously. Not only for being on this call, but for your leadership, man. Someone from your background and all, you could have just ran and rocked and roll on your own and been amazingly fine. When I see people who have that level of leadership, who want to pour into others, on a deep level, I have a lot of gratitude for that. So thank you, man.
Thank you, Joseph. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, I think that's the vibe at EXP, man. It's special. I'm telling you guys. I was meeting as an independent broker. My wife and I were part of Leading RE, 550 firms around the world. We won the Momentum Award 5 years in a row, which is one of the fastest growing up and coming brokerages. and we ran one of the top brokerages in the southern states. So I was meeting with everybody under the sun, Compass and Robert Refkin, Gary Keller and Keller Williams, personally meeting with Gary every other week, and Gino Blafari at Berkshire Hathaway, everybody under the sun. And there's nothing like EXP. I really, truly, being here now 15, 16 months, it's special.
And Terrence, so you've been here for 15, 16 months now, right? And what has your growth, like when you came over, you had a very strong independent brokerage. So you came over with what, around 30 agents or so?
Yeah, I think about 20 came with me, 20 to 25 came with me, somewhere give or take. Yep.
And what's your organization up to a year and a half later?
We'll be at 250 by the end of the next week or two. So we're almost at 250. And I think the report came out. I'm number 38 overall of 87,000 agents as far as personal attraction. And then I think I'm 155 of 87,000 or 85,000 as far as total org. So yeah, man, I'm excited.
Get after it, man. But here's the thing, guys, like this comes from pouring into others, right? And this is where we talked about at the beginning of this call, is it's so easy to get caught up in our business and stop working on our business. But this is going to provide you the financial freedom, right? Taking that money, buying the stock, investing in it, right? And having that discipline to do the right things and to share this with others, right? I put a comment in the chat box. I hope you guys are listening to this, not just for you, but you guys can take this and leverage this with your clients and stuff as well, right? The more value you add to others, the more you guys will be compensated. And I hope you guys get that and you see that with what Terrence is doing with his organization.
My question, in terms of what you just presented, what are the pros and cons in joining a team versus having your own team?
Yes, ma'am. I think it's a case-by-case situation. It depends on where you're at in your career. New agents benefit from joining, and I always say the right team, right? Because you can join the wrong team and it's not a good fit. So I think really do your due diligence, make sure it's the right team, the right culture. And then as the team leader, what's your value proposition? Like, how are you going to help me? And then give me at least 3 to 5 case studies where you have brought someone into your team in a similar scenario in life that I'm in. And then how did they do? Now, it was obviously ultimately on them, but I want to hear success stories. I want to touch and feel and understand that you can bring me in and help me, because that's the whole reason why you sign up. Now, you got to do the work, but I need those case studies to be able to be shown that you have a process. I call it this, a roadmap. You got to have a roadmap to plug me in and help me get there more efficiently, more profitably, and faster. So hopefully that helps, Cecilia.
I like that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Terry, what are your top 2 or 3 books that you've read that helped you?
Yes, sir. You ready?
Yep.
So Eric, what I would say is Atomic Habits would be one. Traction by Gino Wickman. He's got a book series, but Traction and Rocket Fuel, I kind of mashed into one book. And number 3 is Why the Rich Get Richer by Robert Kiyosaki.
I knew you were a Kiyosaki fan. I could tell from your presentation.
Oh, for sure. He changed my life.
Yeah.
Changed my life.
Hey, Terrence, as we're talking about books right now, I was talking to Erica at EXPCon while you were in the Icon event. She was telling me a book that you guys just read on spirituality that has done a number on you guys. What book is that?
No, it's a great, Untethered Soul.
Untethered Soul.
Untethered
Soul. That's on my list.
When I tell you guys, if I make a bold statement, take it to the bank and cash it. But if you read that book and truly sit down, and I always say, do the hard work, not the hard work. A lot of times, I want to talk financial literacy. I want to talk success. I want to talk legacy. I want to talk generation, like breaking generational curses and being the first person in your lineage to do something. I love all that. But if you're not balanced personally, mentally, spiritually, and physically, then it's tough to pour out of an empty cup. And so that book is a good book. And then another one that I refer to people is Leading on Empty. Leading on Empty. But I'm working on a book series right now. But it's a grind. So I'm trying to finish the courses and then I'll be dropping a 3-book series. God
Thank
bless you guys.
You too.
Good
God
weekend.
bless you too.
See you, Larry.
Bye-bye.
Have a great weekend, guys.